All right, y'all. Welcome to YouTube. This is something that we picked up. We're trying to pull apart. We need a bunch of parts for another rig that I'm working on. Kind of a sneak peek kind of a thing on my...
Did these have airbags?
What? No, it's an 86. So this is an 86 Dodge pickup. We're pulling a motor and trans. The motor spins. I don't know if it's any good. I haven't heard it run. And it's got a cell phone sitting on it. But I needed front fenders, the grill, and all of that. We took the doors because I need some door parts. But it's just a beater truck that we're taking apart. It's an 86 Dodge Ram 2500 two-wheel drive. This is the one that my son was kicking the hell out of. We hit with a hammer and stuff.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. It's full of trash. There's a bunch, you know, it just was mistreated. So we're taking it all apart. We're going to save the core support. If I don't need it, we're going to sell it. Those core supports are expensive. But we're talking about putting this motor. This is a Dodge LA 360. Somebody's done some stuff to it. It's got an aftermarket intake. The carburetor's junk. It's been sitting outside. With the hood on it, the hood was down, but you see how corroded that thing is? I don't even think, I mean, it moves, but it ain't in good shape at all.
It doesn't even look like it was
that just broke free. That's the choke, and that's I think a 1406 Edelbrock carburetor. So you guys that don't know anything about carburetors, yeah, you guys that don't know much about carburetors, Edelbrock has the 1400 series. So 1406, 1407, things like that. Those are Edelbrock. If you're talking Holley, it's not a 1400 series. They did that to keep things, so when you go find parts for an Edelbrock, and you go, I got a 1406, the parts guy goes, oh, here's a 1406 rebuild kit, there you go. On the Holley, it's a different series. It's not gonna match up, but the Holley is a completely different carburetor. I don't know if the alternator on this thing works, water pump doesn't seem to be leaking or anything. We're gonna take it all apart and rebuild it and do some stuff with it. Those of you guys that don't know Mopars, 90% of the time, if the engine hasn't been changed, your 360s will have these fins on the exhaust manifolds in the center. So there's cylinder one, there's the two cylinders in the middle, and then there's cylinder 4 in the back. If you were a Ford guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is a Dodge, so this would be 2, 4, 6, and 8. Pretty easy. Not doing anything with the heater, nothing like that, but I am taking a brake booster because I've got an 81 drag truck. We need that for, like, there's certain things we need for a couple different Dodge projects that we have.
We might not be able to remove the steering wheel because we don't have the tool.
No, we don't want to take the steering wheel off. We're going to pull the whole steering column together. On this truck, that's possible. On a new truck, maybe, but not usually.
So don't pull the whole thing out.
So yeah, this is a 3/4 ton. You could tell because it's got A-lug wheels. It's a two-wheel drive, which you can tell because it's got that big arm right there. On a four-wheel drive, it wouldn't, especially in this year, 1986, four-wheel drive would have been a leaf spring front end. We got the truck for fairly cheap, but it was full of this trash, so we're not trying to clean it out. We're just getting the parts that we want and scrapping the rest. This truck is going to get crushed. There's no way around it. It's all scheduled for that. We're not selling anything off of it. We're not parting anything out. But, so you can see those 8 lugs on the rear. So, you know, you can't have 8 lugs on one side, 5 lugs on the other. Rear differentials don't work that way. On the front end, you could do it, but if you do it, you're retarded. You'd want 5 lug all the way around the vehicle if you're doing a 5 lug conversion, which would turn this into a half ton, which would make it a little more desirable. But with the shape that this truck is in and was in, we're going to take it all apart, save what we can, and get rid of the rest. So the idea behind this is We haven't pulled the valve covers. I don't know if there's anything. I'm guessing these are stock inside. We may do another video on the engine when we pull it
Yeah,
apart.
I was gonna say we should.
These suck, and there's a reason why. We talked about that before. The Mopar ones aren't any better. But what I was saying was on the 360, they'll have these fins. On the 318, they're usually smooth. The reason for that is the 360 does put out a little more heat on the exhaust side of things. So they put the fins to try to cool it, because as you're driving the truck, all this open space will catch air and cool that down a little bit. We're taking the steering column, like I just said to the boys. So one thing about it, rag joints suck. If you can get rid of them, get rid of them. If you can't, make sure it's in good shape. That little bit of bump steer that you feel sometimes is either there or there on these old trucks. And if those are both tight and good, then you have to check out all the rest of the front end, because your ball joints and bushings could be bad. But fairly simple trucks to work with. We're talking about putting this motor in a 92 Ford Ranger. Just because we have a small block, I don't have to buy a small block. It's a Dodge motor, so it's going to piss a lot of Ford guys off. And we're not looking for a huge amount of horsepower. He just hurt his hand popping that hose off of that off of that fuel filter, which I don't understand why people run these. I hate these fuel filters. They're good, but when they're clogged up, you can't tell. It's all metal encased. You can't see it. If you have bad fuel, you can't see it. But they do work. I don't like them. We're going to see what the valves look like and all that good stuff. I'm pretty sure it's got a stock cam. I don't think this engine's been cammed. But they did go through the trouble and bought the whole dress-up kit for the top end of the motor with the carburetor. So they got the valve covers. I need the breather and the other piece for my other engine. It's got an intake. It's got a carburetor. It's got the air cleaner. So it all says Edelbrock on the top end of this thing. Doesn't mean it runs any better. In fact, anybody that knows hot rods knows one thing. Chrome is bad. So chrome is pretty on your engine. When you open your hood and you can see it, especially with headers, chrome looks nice.
Does this have taillights on it?
Yes, but chrome holds heat. So your oil runs through up in here. If it's chrome, it's going to stay hot, which is going to lose 2 or 3 horsepower. It's enough to, when you're squeezing every bit of horsepower out of an engine, it's something that you want to worry about. On a driver, something you're going to drive like this truck was, these are fine. Because all they're going to do is hold oil. They do get hot, and it holds a lot of heat. So on race stuff, of course, badass street stuff, you want to pop the hood and somebody go, oh my God, I don't want to race that guy. Do not run chrome. You want everybody to laugh at you and show them what kind of power you built, throw chrome on.
It's true.
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
Aluminum dissipates heat the best, so aluminum valve covers are the way to go. If you have a stock valve cover and you're trying to do a sleeper build, paint them flat black. Flat black will dissipate heat on steel just as much as aluminum valve cover will, and it'll build you horsepower. A little bit, but enough. We're going to see what cam's in here. We may upgrade the cam. If it goes in that little Ranger, we want to make it pretty badass. If it doesn't, we're going to save it for another thing, and we're still going to make it pretty
You're
badass.
most likely going to get 1 million likes on that video. So.
Well, it depends. If you comment hot rod the Ranger, we're going to hot rod the Ranger. If you comment sell the Ranger, we're going to sell the Ranger. So help us out, like and subscribe, and keep up with our builds. I know I haven't been online a lot since my brother had passed away. It really kind of killed me, and it's been hard for me to do this stuff. Life has kind of bit me in the butt a little bit, and we've kind of fallen downhill a little bit, but we're trying to pick it back up. And, you guys mean the world to me. A little bit that we do here and there, trying to push forward every day, and we try to push forward every day. we get held up quite a bit. But give us some likes, give us some comments, let us know what you'd like to see out of this channel, and we will do what we can to push forward in that. Of course, the shop isn't great. And I had a thing with my YouTube for a little bit. The last video, short video I did before today, I put 3 shorts out today. But for some reason, I had no volume. So we're not doing a super long video on this, but if you want to know anything, what we're thinking is going to make this scream, what we're doing and thinking that's going to hold it up, don't cut those. We're gonna do some in-depth stuff on why we're doing a cam, why we're doing crank, why we're doing pistons, why we're doing different heads, why we want to run a different intake. You know, because it all goes on what application you're running and what you're looking for. So, like on a street vehicle, we want to run a intake like this. You can tell by looking at this that this is a good street intake. It's dual plane. So this runner and this runner are at 2 different heights, which means that this has a thing in the middle of it. One side of this is going to be taller than the other side. That's a dual plane. A single plane is a good race application. That's where all these runners match. So this one and that one would be the same height. In here would be hollow. That's good for high RPM, putting all the power down all the time. For a street vehicle, this is perfect. I don't know if they make an air gap for a Dodge on this motor. We'll look in to see what we can find, but we're definitely going to change the valve covers, probably the rockers and rollers and all that good stuff. I've got another set of roller rockers. We've got some stuff that we can do to this to really hop it up and make it fun. The reason you'd want to go with rollers is less friction. For stock horsepower, torque, stuff like that, they're fine. When you want to build an engine that's going to turn higher RPMs, you want something that causes less friction. It allows it to spin easier. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things we're going to take out. No, that windshield's not. It sucks. That's a vacuum advance for the distributor. So yeah, we're going to do different distributor, spark plugs, bigger wires. So these stock are 7 millimeter. We want an 8 or 10 millimeter. Because that's gonna, as soon as that pops and it gets power to the spark plug, it's gonna be the fastest way to it, and we're gonna get the most spark out of it. We know this motor turns over by hand very easily, but we don't know anything else about it. So we need to see if it's got good compression and stuff like that. We're gonna put a starter on it, and we're probably gonna have it together with the transmission so we can crank it over and at least do compression check. I'm not gonna ground hop this motor because the heads are probably coming off. We're probably going to run some aluminum heads on it. You know, it just all depends on what we do and what we find to put it in. The reason the Ranger is a thought is because it's a 92 Ford Ranger. When I was a kid, my dad had one. It was his show truck, and he said if he had a chance to rebuild it, he would do a V8. I could probably sell this motor and buy a 302 and shove in that Ranger to keep it Ford, but we like to do things a little different around here. And I think it'd be pretty funny to have a Dodge and a Ford, like, you know, who does that? We do. As far as I know, the transmission's good. It does need serviced. This would have a 727 torque flight for a small block, 2-wheel drive. It's going to be the truck setup, so the gear ratios are weird. So we'd have to go through and pull the transmission apart, put good gears in it. And that's your planetaries and your planetary gears and stuff like that. We'd have to get out of a car transmission to make it geared more proper for the street and for that little pickup truck, because having it geared the way this is probably isn't the best. But we'll see. but we do want to make this thing run and run hard. So let me know in the comments what you want to see out of the Ranger, what we should do with this 360. And I'll show you later how to tell what motor it is. And again, like, subscribe, keep up on our builds. Let us know what you want to see next. I don't have a whole lot of money, but if we can make some stuff work, we're going to make some stuff work. So it's what we love to do, guys. Have fun, keep wrenching.